Can you guys hear now? Oh, I'm so sorry, Hiklo. I've been talking this entire time. That's embarrassing. So this is gonna be a portrait game. It's gonna be about shooting balloons for iOS and Android. Hopefully it's gonna be fun. That's the hope. That's the plan. Import. Okay, so now if we go into project, we should, here we go. Platform, materials, shaders, no. No, I need tile sets. I think that works. It looks awful, but it allows us to see what we're working with. Okay, next, I think I'm going to first put the main camera under the capsule and position it inside of the capsule. Let's do this. Let's push it down a little that way and forward. Okay, and so I'm gonna want to actually come into here and I'm gonna raise the FOV to about 85 is what I'm thinking, because if you take a look at this in full screen, oh, I was pressing the wrong button, this is gonna be plenty big. Of course, this is gonna be for mobile, so it'll look more like this. The balloons will be coming up here, you can shoot them, voila. Oh no, you're good, Hiklo, don't worry about it. I'm just glad you're here right now. So, we're gonna rename these. Player, placeholder. I accidentally capitalized that L. Placeholder. This, I'm just gonna rename to floor for now. Okay, now this crosshair script, I'm going to put here. And I'm going to be following tutorials for this, because I honestly am not as great of a game developer as I claim to be. Oops. Come on. Okay, so we're gonna go to YouTube. Wow. YouTube. Simply a, 3D, movement Unity. I'll just look at this. I don't actually want it to move. I literally want the rotation. That's it.
Eve to me is
It's really loud. I'm really
open
sorry.
universe where you can do whatever you want.
Start off by
Okay.
creating a new Unity project. Once you've done that, right-click in the hierarchy panel, go create empty and hit player. Right-click on that player you've just made, go 3D object and capsule. And this is going to be you. I'm just going to call it player. So you can see that's you in the middle. Go ahead and take your main camera on the left there. Go ahead and drag it into that player file there. So you should see that this is a folder with your two objects inside. Click on your main camera on the left and go into the inspector panel. If you don't see that, go window, general, and inspector. Reset the camera to 000. This should get it inside of your player and then drag it to the top. This is for first person. If you want third person, you can go ahead and just drag that camera wherever you want. So I'm just going to drag it a little far away and you can see a third person view. But for this, I'm just going to do a first person. Right click, go 3D object and create plane. And again, set this to 000. Click Y and then grab that square in the middle and drag it out. And this is going to be the plane that you're actually going to be walking on. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just creating some cubes just for reference so you can see that I'm actually moving, because without them it's a little bit difficult to see with just a plain background if you're actually
That's why I textured the floor.
walking around. Go ahead and right click on the bottom here, go create and make a new folder. And this is just for a good habit of organization to keep everything nice and organized. Right click again, go create C# script, and then go player movement and double click on that player movement script that you've just created there. Now go ahead and paste this text in. If you want a detailed explanation of what all this does, just let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to make one.
Well, that's gonna work. So this is the script. The gravity look speed. Here's the look. The look stuff. So here's what I'm gonna do. Instead of movement, I'm gonna do 3D look. Act mouse. No. How to look around. That's a better one. Here we go.
Hey Transplay Nerds, it's your favorite part of every session. You guessed it, sponsor Connie.
Okay. I'm gonna picture this. That way we can work while it's going. Name it camera rotate script. Crosshair's fine. So he opens it up. And then he starts making private floats. Let's get to work. Private float X. Oops, wrong thing. X. Private float Y. Private float Z. Awesome. Although that's a public float, not a private. And it isn't public. Public float. Let's go with sensitivity. Sensitivity. That's how you spell it, right? I'm gonna make that equal just to 1F for now. Alright, then we need a private vector. 3. No, vector 3. And I'm gonna name it rotate. Now, I'm gonna make a void start because I deleted it. Boom. Private void start, I just want a void start. I don't want it private. Just regular void start. I'm gonna go cursor. This makes it locked, which is what I want to do. Cursor dot lock state. It's actually, hold up, no. It's this. Cursor lock state, cursor lock mode, locked, easy. I love autofill. Okay, we also need a void update. I would have been able to do this all, but I've not done game developing for a little bit, so I'm a little bit rusty. We go y equals input get axes dot get axes. Is it just get axes? Yeah. Get axes. Mouse X. That's right, because they have the pre-named inputs. You don't have to do your own. Then just do the same thing. X equals input get axes mouse Y. Alright, and then we're gonna have to rotate equals new vector 3 x y sensitivity and 0. Oh no. It's Y times sensitivity and 0. That's right. Alright, I'm getting it back. I'm getting my mojo back. We gotta make a new transform dot Euler angles. And we need to make that equal to transform dot Euler angles. Did I say minus rotate, just like that. Transform does not contain definition for Euler angles and no accessible extension method. Yeah, they have. I kind of fell off, honestly. Euler angles, huh? What do I do to fix this? Yeah, no, that just doesn't work. So here's what I'm gonna do instead. Euler angles, that works. Minus rotate. For some odd reason, it didn't work to begin with. It works now. That's cool. Alright, we're gonna save this. Zorksy ghosted me before he ever paid me. That's what happened. Just kind of sucked. Alright, so then we go into here. Attach script to your player's camera, depending on which one you want to rotate. I prefer the player to rotate, so I put it on my player. I also would want the player to rotate. Yeah. Alright. Crosshair, right here. This raises the sensitivity. We're going to do some tests. We're going to hit play test. We're going to let that go. Oh, they're inverted. All the controls are inverted. But the sensitivity is almost perfect. Moonstone and Savage. Moonstone pops into the streams most of the time. Savage knows I'm streaming. I honestly don't know why he's not here. Okay, that's good, but I got these backwards. This needs to be Y, and this needs to be X. Let's save that and try again. I got a cavity filled yesterday, and so my mouth hurts, like, really bad right now. Okay, wrong thing. Now, moving my mouse up. Rotate, okay. Okay, pause. Pause. Let's go. Change these back. But why? Huh. Well, I'm glad you're here, honestly. Let's reload the domain. The trial and error on this is crazy, honestly. Okay, it's still going the exact wrong way, which is a pain in the... Actually, up and down is fine. It's just sideways that's going the wrong way. Why? How would I know? Let's look at this. Ah, there we go. See, I knew he was going to explain it eventually. But essentially this needs to be, I'm going to say -2. And now we'll give it a try. I have played Lethal Company. It was very laggy, and this is looking good. It was very laggy, and so I don't play it much, but it was fun while it lasted. Okay, so now I need a lock state so that they can only face the one way. How to code, movement locking in Unity. I think that's what it's called. I might have to go into an, yeah, I tried to use them, and it didn't work very well. Brackies. This is the video I originally learned how to do it in. Brackies, it was the tower defense game. How to make a tower defense. Enemy. Tower. I think it's literally episode 1 that we need. But it's in
Brackies.
Let's go here.
And then hit F.
So then
Same with any nodes that these enemies should walk over, and then delete them, and then instead create some kind of ground object that they will move along. So let's go ahead and make a path by simply,
let's take
and we're going to create a separate material for this. I'm just going to duplicate the start material and a special thanks.
Let's go episode 2. Maybe
Thanks for tuning in at Brackies. Not to be mistaken with our path objects, which we just called our ground. And what we can do with this is move it into the environment and have it sit at the top here so we can easily find it. And we want to take the scale here and bump that up to something.
Okay, I think it might
Thanks
be
for tuning
in
at Brackies. Hello everyone and welcome to this third video on creating a tower defense game in Unity. So today we are going to be creating a wave spawner that will of course spawn in waves of enemies. So that's
might be the next one.
Thanks for tuning in at Brackies.
Eventually I'm gonna find it. Looks like it's the next one.
Thanks for tuning in at Brackies.
Shooting, bullet script, bullet code, and then most replayed. Nope, still
Thanks for
building. Maybe it's in this one. He's still centered there. I'm just going through looking for the part where he teaches us how to move the camera around. Because I'm really hoping that I'm not on some wild goose chase, you know? Wait, here it is, this is it.
Or our mouse position .y is greater than those 390. That means that we are somewhere up here. That means that we are only 10 pixels from the edge of the screen, and therefore we want to move.
This is it.
Multiply by pan speed.
Camera controller. Yeah, this is definitely it.
Let's jump into Unity. Make sure you have the camera selected. Hit add.
Okay. So I'm going to go into the crosshair. And what I'm actually going to do is take the crosshair script and place it on the main camera. And I'm going to remove it from the player, remove component. And I'm just going to re-put this at -2. It should still work the exact same. Let me make that smaller. It should still work the same. Let me make sure it does before we move on. Yeah, it still works the same. We're good there. So now we can continue.
Component and add a new camera controller script. So this is of course going to be C#, and you can just go ahead and open this up in Visual Studio, and let's delete the system.collections namespace. We're not going to be needing it.
Okay, whatever you say, Brackies.
And let's just keep the update method in here. We'll be needing that in a second. So the first variable that we're
I
going
shouldn't have done that because it's not just that. I'm going to keep that in there just in
to
case.
be using is a pan.
I'm going to section off all of this because just go back. Hold up. And I'm going to say this is camera look around. And then I'll come down here and I'll say camera lock. Camera lock. Let's go with that. And I could actually camera lock. Yeah, let's just keep that. I think I know what I need to do.
Speed. And panning is when you move around on the flat plane. So that means
So
in
he's
our
gonna
X
control
and C, go ahead
panning.
and add some functionality to this F to 3. What we do
I want to get to where he
using
starts
the
putting
local
the if statements
relative
in.
to is at the top of the screen. And how do we check for this? Well, we use the fact, so when our mouse is at the top of the screen here, we want to check for the mouse position. And we have a variable in here called input.mousePosition, which is basically a vector3 storing the current coordinate.
So in update, I'm going to put this in as camera look around, and then I'm going to come above it. I'm going to say camera rotate, or camera lock, I mean. Just so that we got, gosh, the placing P's. Just so that we have some sort of, if input dot mouse position
Coordinates of our mouse. And these coordinates are relative to this bottom left corner. So when the mouse
yeah, I left too. I didn't want to sort of be involved.
mouse is down here, it's 0, 0. And then from there on, it depends on the resolution of your display. So if I move it up here, and let's say that this is something like 400 pixels tall, well then if I move it up here, it might go to 10, 20, 30, 40. And then when I reach the top here, it will be at 400. So what we can do is we can say that if our mouse position is greater than, and then use the current height of our display, in our case maybe 400, subtract say 10 from that, so that will be 300.
I actually don't think I need to do any of this. I don't think I need to do any of this because it's going to be a mobile game. You can't really rotate and look around. I want to be able to click on the balloons and they just pop. So come to think of it, I don't need any of this. I would if it was a, I would I would if... Gosh, dang it. What is happening? I would if it was a PC game, but because it's mobile and everything's touch, I don't think I do. We just are restarting, basically. Before we do any of that, let's save this, because I don't need to rotate. I want to look at one thing, and then I can just click on the balloons, and it shoots. So I need to work on balloon spawners. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to create a 3D object, and I'm going to make this just a cube. I'm going to name it regular balloon spawner. That's all messed up, but that's fine. And I'm going to place it in front and down here. Now this is going to pop out the balloons. Now I'm going to create 3D object sphere, and this is going to be a regular balloon. Okay, let's create a folder, name it scripts, throw that in there. Then we'll create another folder, and we'll... What did I do? What did I do? Okay, we're gonna name this one prefabs, and this is where the regular balloon is gonna go. Just the prefab. Then we can delete this. Okay, regular balloon spawner. Perfect. Now in scripts, we're gonna ignore the crosshair script for a little bit, okay? First, we're gonna do C# script, and I'm gonna go balloon spawning. I'm gonna open this up, and I think I can do this without a thing. So I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm gonna go balloon picker. So this right here, this line of code is going to be the balloon that spawner spawns. So I'm gonna go game object, no, and I'm gonna name the game object balloon of eligible balloon of choice. Perfect. Now update, I'm just gonna go with instantiate. That isn't how you spell it. Instantiate balloon of choice. This might be easy. This might be really easy. So we go into here, and we drag balloon spawner script onto it. Oh, this needs to be a public game object. Hold up, can you make a public? Oh, it needs to be no. It needs to be uncapitalized. Public game object balloon of choice. Okay, now let's try this. It should pop up down here. Balloon of choice. Awesome. And that's going to be this prefab. Regular balloon. Okay, so if I hit play, you should see a little ball pop out of here. Oh, that's a lot of balloons of choice. Awesome. And these regular balloons of choice, I'm going to add a rigid body to them. Rigid body. Okay, and you should see them falling here now. Just a ton of them. Oh, they're actually spawning in my face. That's actually hilarious. Okay, so here's what we're going to want to do. We're going to want that to, every, like, 10 seconds spawn a, balloon of choice. But before we do that, we're gonna want to spawn a balloon of choice. Oops, no, I pressed the wrong button. Dot position, no. Instantiate. Let me look up how this instantiate code works, because instantiate has always been a difficult. Instantiate Unity script. Oh, wait. I have an idea. Instantiate position. Okay, hold up. Let me just look at it. Instantiate position. Let's look. Object transform parent right there. It has to be inside. Dot. Oops, transform. How do you make the parent? Transform. And what I'm gonna do is make another public game object. Call it balloon spawner. That seems fitting. Transform at balloon spawner. Please work. That didn't work. Does it need to be a boom? Parent that will be assigned to the new object. Okay, no. I want to transform it to balloon spawner right here. Please work. No. Man, why would it ever be that easy, huh? Wouldn't. Trust me. Balloon of choice. Okay. How to get it? Vector 3. So, object, vector 3, position. It is very quiet. Very, very quiet. Okay. Vector 3 at balloon spawner dot position. No, can't just do that. Why would it be that simple, huh? Balloon spawner. So I've got to get the position of this balloon spawner, which is 0.03, -5, and 10. 0.03, -5, and 10. Cannot be used like a method. It's literally... what? Right here. Instantiate object original vector 3 position. Do I have to put it? Oh, yo, welcome, Bacon Master. Welcome. I think I might have to put in a quaternion for rotation. And I just want that 0, 0, 0. Nope. Cannot be. They can't be used like methods, yet they literally are methods. Lord help me. Instantiate. Okay. How to make something instantiate at another object. I've done this before. That's the worst part. Instantiating an object at... if I had any hair, I'd be pulling it by now, but this one has me stumped. Add another... if I have trigger position at A, and once I have another, it's gonna be... I can get triggers to work for other stuff. Okay. Except instantiate as that takes a vector 3. Alright, let's take a look at this. Game object. Oh, of course I need a transform. Not a game object. It has to be a transform. It makes so much more sense. And then, here, you go transform. Transform cannot be used like a method. I love this so much. Transform? It's honestly upsetting me a little bit. That's okay though, right? We're gonna figure this out. I simply want to instantiate it. So this is where our update is. Yo, welcome, Hunter. Got the public transform. You know what? This might be stupid. This might... Wait, is that a capitalized transform or no? Yes. And then... Oh, of course. So then you go balloon of choice. And then you go, comma, balloon spawner dot position. Why is that erroring? Why not? Oh, right, because I need the quaternion. And so then I'm gonna do balloon spawner dot rotation, and I should be good. Yes, I'm doing it. Yo, Hunter, I'm making a game. Yep, mobile game. Pretty cool. Let's save this and give it a shot. It should now spit out all these balls here. Did I save that? Yeah, I saved it. Right. Balloon spawner's not been assigned. So if I come into here, balloon spawner just needs to be this. Nice. Let's try this again. Yes! It's working. It looks hilarious. Okay, it is working, and we can move this around, and they'll continue to fly out of there. Okay, awesome. Awesome possum. So now, I only want this to instantiate, so I'm going to check if a certain amount of time has passed. If 5F, no. How to check time in Unity. How to check time in Unity. Yeah, no, that's not what I'm looking. How to make something happen. How to instantiate an object based on a timer in Unity. That's a better way to put it. Create a timed spawner. Here we go. It's a
You
ton
could
of
be vaping
balloons.
formaldehyde, which is used in taxidermy.
Oh dear.
What? Formaldehyde.
Hello coders, this is Jared with Renaissance Coders. If you want to see more videos like this one, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Okay coders, in this video we are going to add an additional spawner to our scene. So let's take a quick look at the current scene that we have. If I just press the play button here, we can see that we've got a pivoting or just sort of a wobbling platform. I can click and instantiate a whole bunch of objects and they just sort of collide with it and bounce all over the place. So we've got a pretty cool scene going so far. Now, for this video, we won't really need to update our level a whole lot, but we are going to create another quick script. Now, this new quick script is going to be a timed spawn script that instantiates an object over time with a new C# script. And we can just call this timed spawn. Now, let's open up this script and get to work. Okay, so I've got my script open here. And as per the usual, we are just going to set up our variables first. So we're going to say we need a public game object, and we're going to call this spawnee. We're going to need a public bool stop spawning.
This is where we go. Public bool called stop spawning. Perfect.
Set it equal to false.
And yes, we're going to start that out with equal to false. Yes, this makes a lot of sense. So then, after a certain amount of time, I'll set that to true, and then we'll have an if statement saying that if it's set to true, it will stop spawning, and then we'll have it set to false, so that it'll spawn one, and then after certain... Yeah, something. I don't know. Well, we'll figure it out.
We're going to need a public float for our spawn time.
That's true. Spawn time. I want a public float called spawn time. And we can set that in.
And we're going to need a public
I'm not going to hard
float
code that.
for our spawn delay.
Yes, true. I'm just going with what he's saying.
Okay, so those are the variables that we're actually going to need for this script. Now, usually this is at the
Since when did Hunter become chill? That's such a savage comment. I love it. It's been a little bit. He's been chill for a minute, but he was not chill for a minute too. So I'm grabbing some Pop-Tarts.
point at which I delete the start function. But we're not going to get rid of the start function in this script. We're actually going to get rid of the update function. I know, shocking, right? It's like, how is this going to work without the update function?
So I'm not going to get rid of the update function, because that's my instantiate. I actually could get rid of the update, because I'm going to be instantiating here. I can actually just do this.
Function. Well, we're about to find out. So we're actually going to create a new method here. We're going to say public void spawn object.
See, that's how he does it without the transform. Yum. I said shawan. I'm not spawn.
Okay, and inside of this script, we're going to instantiate. We're going to instantiate our spawnee.
Oops. I want to instantiate balloon of choice.
Add our transform dot position and our transform.
I need another spawn location. Public game object balloon spawner. So here I'm gonna go balloon spawner dot position. Right, this needs to be a transform. My bad. With a little boop right there on the end. Let's now go dot position. Balloon spawner dot rotation. Okay. 47 minutes ago. That sounds about right.
Dot rotation. Okay. And then we also want to say if stop spawning, then we want to do something.
Right. So if stop spawning is set to true, if stop spawning is set to true, we want to, what do we want to do?
Okay, so
We want to set stop spawning to false. That way it'll immediately just set stop spawning to false. Yeah, no, we don't want to do that. I'm just going to follow the video.
what do we want to do? Well, if stop spawning is true, then basically what we're going to do is stop calling our spawn object. But of course, we're not calling our spawn object yet. So what we're going to do up inside of our start function is create an invoke repeating call, which is something that Unity uses to call a method over and over with an initial time and then a delay after that. So let's just write this out, and we're going to say invoke repeating, and inside we're going to write out our method name, and then we're going to put in our spawn time.
Pause. You're getting far ahead. Spawn time, I think.
And our spawn
Delay.
delay.
Okay, yeah. Spawn time and spawn delay. And we can place a semicolon there.
So this
We're
is
getting
going
somewhere.
to call spawn object, and this is the initial time it takes to actually spawn, and this is the delay in between instantiations after that. So inside of our if stop spawning, we just want to call cancel invoke.
That's smart. Cancel invoke spawn object. I think is how you do that.
Spawn object.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smart.
So this is a pretty simple
Big
script.
brain.
That's all there is to this. So now we're going to go ahead and save that.
Let's try this again. So, here, we want spawn time set, let's go 10, and spawn delay set to 10, and we're going to give this a shot. Hopefully, we'll be able to see it spawn, pause, and then spawn again. Let's fidget with these times a little bit. Boom. One popped out. Give it 10 seconds. I'm actually going to change these to 1. And it spawned 1 and then fine. Let's restart this and try again. Actually, pause. Stop it. I think we all did. Heclo. We were all bad people back then. Isn't that what the past is for? So there spawned 1, there spawns another, and another, and another. This is perfect. It works perfectly. It actually works amazing. So I'm going to go into this prefab. I'm going to create a C# script and name it balloon behaviors. I don't think that's how you spell balloon behaviors, but Did that work? I don't know if that worked. I know. But I was a bad person back then, too. I fed into that stuff way too much, too. Don't you even worry about it. So now, we should have that balloon behavior script, and we can throw this back in our scripts. Awesome. And we'll open up balloon behaviors. Now, all I want to do is put a, I want to put a force on the bottom of the balloons to push them up. That way they float up, right? So, under the start method, I'm going to go here, and I'm before the start method, actually. I'm going to say, public game object balloon, and then in start I'm going to add a force, and there's a word for it and I'm not gonna be able to get it, so I'm gonna go back into Bracky's cube game, because that's where I learned how to do this. I learned a lot from Bracky's. How to make a video game. It should be one of the first ones.
If you struggle finding...
Might be the second, but it... movement, right here. It's the fourth one.
This video will make our player move. To do that, we'll have a look at variables, if statements, and player input. So if you want to make games in Unity...
Okay, back to here.
This is that our player doesn't stay on the ground. I think that's fair to you guys. Instead, as with everything on the site here, I've made it pay what you want, so you can of course go ahead and grab it for free, or choose to support me with some amount. You can just click the one that you can afford here and then hit the blue button and you're good to go. So back to the video. In the last one we made our cube fly forward by...
Okay, yeah, it was
Today
bad.
we'll get started
It was
programming
bad. I'm glad I got out. I'm sad I didn't get paid, but I'm glad I got out.
in Unity. I did a poll asking what language you guys would like to see, and the results were, well, conclusive. So today we'll be creating our first script. We'll have a look at how you can change properties and even add forces to an object. So I'm really excited. Let's just jump right into it. So whenever we want to program in Unity with either. So this is what a script looks like just when we create it.
It was really bad, Heclo. It was bad.
Make sure you end this line with a semicolon. You're going to be doing that a lot when save that and hit back into Unity. We should now see an empty slot here with the name of RB. We can then take our rigid body and drag it into that slot. So now whenever we write RB in our script, it's going to refer to this particular component is called rigid body. Then the name of the component that we want to modify, in our case rigid body, and now we need to give this reference a name that we'll use in...
That's probably smart. I should reference the rigid bodies. Just make everything easier for everybody. Rigid body RB, right? Just make everything. Yeah, I didn't even get paid, and honestly it upset me a bit. He ghosted me. Zorxy ghosted me before I made him sign the contract. But, whatever.
Internally, so we can call it something like RB for rigid body. If we save that and hit back into Unity, we should now see an empty slot here with the name of our...
I should. Let's save this and open up Unity. Now, you might be wondering, why are you prefabs, regular balloon, why are you, doing all this work for this single balloon? And the answer is that this is just the regular balloon. Like, here, I've got this balloon. It's gonna be on the script. The script is gonna be on the object, so why would you want to reference the object since the script's already on it? And the answer is that this script is for... It is possible that something happened to his account, but if something happened to his account, he should have made a new one and reached back out. So, I don't know. So that references the rigid body in the script right here. Every time we type RB, it'll reference this rigid body script right here. So, let's keep working.
RB. We can then take our rigid body and drag it into that slot. So now whenever we write RB in our script, it's going to refer to this particular rigid body. That means that if we go back into Visual Studio and instead of writing debug.log here, write something like rb.useGravity, we can set that equal to either true or false. In our case, we're going to set it to false and then of course end with a semicolon. So save that. Let's hit in Unity and let's see if this
Yeah, I do want it to RB. I don't want it to use gravity. Equal to false. I don't want it to fall. I want it to float. Save that. Let me check this. If this works, holy moly. Boom, boom. So right now, this is set to use gravity, but if I hit play, that should click off right where my mouse is. It should just floop off. And you can see it did not. They're flying out for some reason. So I've got a genius idea. Might not work very well. But just in case it... Oh, nope. Control Z. Wrong one. X, right? Negative 90 degrees. Let's try this again. Now they should be flying up. I don't even know if this is gonna work. Boom, they're flying this way now. So now we rotate. Oh, nope, that's scale. Rotate on the y-axis. No, rotate on the z-axis 90 degrees. Now they're throwing out that way. Let's go back to 0 degrees. They'll be thrown out that way. If we put this one at 0, they're still thrown out that way. And if we put this one to 90, they're thrown out that way. Then what if we put this one to 90? They're thrown out that way. That's what I wanted. So I need 90 and 90 there. Put that to 0, that to 90, and put that to 90. Now if we hit play, they should all fly up. Is the hope. Yeah, they don't. Okay, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. But that's fine. That's fine. We're gonna put a force pushing them up anyway. So that's fine.
This value isn't going to change when we hit play. So let's hit play. And indeed, the used gravity changes to false. We can see that our cube here is hovering in the air. And if we were to duplicate him so that the two would collide, you can see just how cool of an effect that already gives us. But this is just editing a tiny little property. We can also make our rigid body do different things. If we quit playing, go back into Visual Studio, we can actually add a force to that rigid body. So instead of writing rb.useGravity, let's write rb.add force.
Add force. That's the call I need. Add force. rb.velocity.
And again, we open a parentheses, close a parentheses, and then end with a semicolon. However, you can currently see that this is displaying red. And the reason why is that we need to specify a
let's give this a shot. It's gonna add a velocity, but I'm not sure which way. If it's pushing it up, I'm happy. If not, I'm not happy. That's all there is to it. But let's give it a shot. So it's just giving it a downward momentum, but I think that's because use gravity is on. Let's try this again. Should pop out. It just sits still. I like this. This is looking good if it can fly the right way. So I'm going to want to add the velocity on the
few
y-axis.
Things. These are called function arguments. The add force method wants to know how much force it should add in the different directions. So we could start with 0 on the x-axis. We could do something.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a public float. And I'm going to name this y, and I'm going to set it equal to 1. Then I'm going to make another public float x and make that equal to 0. Public float z equal to 0. So now I'm going to go x, y, and z. Perfect. Let's save this and give it a shot. Now these are public floats, which means I did them specifically this way, because if I just input the numbers there, that actually hard codes them in. However, doing it like that means I can come down here and change the numbers of the velocity right here. Y, X, and Z. Let's give this a shot. Pop. Pop. Okay. Let's add a lot more. Let's go like 100. That should be fine. Pop. And it's floating up. They're floating up. Yes! Bro, this is awesome. That timer's a little bit fast. So let's go regular balloon spawner. Let's go spawn time and set that to 2. And the spawn delay set to 2. That should double it. Let's give it a go. Pop. Pop. Yo, guys, this is sick. This is actually sick. Look at that. We got balloons. We got balloons. Okay, so now, just to make the game not get laggy, here's what I'm going to do. And this is going to be difficult for no reason. Cube. I'm going to put this cube over the top of this cube, and I'm going to throw it up here. Yes. Then, I'm going to set the scale to a 10 by 10, right? I'm going to make it is trigger. Right. Now, I'm going to go into scripts. Scripts. I'm going to add a new script, and I'm going to name this one delete extra balloon. I'm going to capitalize these so it's easier to read. Delete extra balloons. Let's open up this one. Guys, we're getting this. Alright, have a good rest of your night, Heklo. I was really fun talking to you. Boom. Delete extra balloons. Now, void update. If trigger, no. On trigger, enter. Alright, thank you, Hunter. See you, man. On trigger, enter. Right? How do you make on trigger enters again? On trigger enter. Unity. On trigger enter has always given me problems. Oh, it's collide. Dot on trigger enter. Right, and I have to make it a void of its own, not into the update. So, let's make it a public void on trigger enter. Perfect. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of the start. And I'm going to come up here. And I'm going to say public game object balloon prefab. Now, if it collides with that, then delete. No. Remove. What do I do? What do I do? I want to delete it. Then balloon prefab equal to false. Let's just start with that. No, active. Balloon prefab dot active equal to false. Perfect. Dot set active. You right. Set active. Let's try this again. Set active false. Perfect. Save this. Go back into Unity. And we're going to watch these balloons, okay? We're going to watch them float up and just disappear. They won't be deleted, but they should disappear. Oh, wait. No. Not yet. Cube. Delete. Cube. It's not even on there yet. Alright, and then balloon prefab. I go into prefabs. Is right here. Regular balloon. Time to give this a try. They should float up, touch this, and disappear. That's the hope. So you can see them floating up. A few of them floating up. There's 3 of them. They're not disappearing. No, wait, they are. Look at this. Boom. Perfect, but it's only working on some of them, which is weird. Anyway, so instead of now setting it to false, I want to, delete that one specific thing. How to use on trigger enter to delete a clone object. Easy. Shoot, okay. Okay, so since you said clones, I'm assuming you're using prefab. So if you don't have the original prefab in the hierarchy, drag the prefab onto it, do the edits first, then click on it into the hierarchy. You'll see a drop down called overrides. Click that and click apply to all. This should apply the scripts to all the clones. Reapply, okay, no. Damage, no. I want the clone. So if shot equals true, then clone equals that. Okay, so then on collider, if enemy 3 take damage, enemy 2. Okay, this is just taking damage. I want it to delete the bullet. Let's go back. I don't think this is what I want. How to destroy a game object clone when colliding with the ground. Okay, so in my game I have a spawner that spawns clones from a game object. I want the ball's clones to get destroyed when it impacts the ground. I've tried many times to make this work, but I've never figured it out yet. Exactly. Destroy. Destroy! That's it. Destroy. This. Dot. Balloon prefab. Save. Please work. Please work. I'm hoping this works. That would keep the lag down so much. Heh. I don't know why they're not active. Okay, destroying assets is not permitted to avoid data loss. Seriously? Right. That's because it's doing this. If you're copying a game object not seen already, it might cause problems, but if you're creating the clones from a prefab and your assets fully, you can simply add the following code to a script on the clone's objects. Oh! Of course, you make it the clone's objects. So, come into balloon behaviors and throw that in. So, it doesn't need to be on the cube. It needs to be on the balloons. So this sphere collider should be a trigger. And open up balloon behaviors. I'm going to remove this script component. And I'm going to go scripts, balloon behaviors. And then in update, I'm going to say on trigger enter. No, not an update. On trigger. On trigger enter, I'm going to go delete. No, not delete. Destroy balloon. Save. I'm hoping this works. If this works, I'll be really happy. I also hope that they're not spawning in. Why are they spawning in Hello? Okay, there's something in an update that's messing it up. Destroy. Okay, no. Add force, destroy. I simply want whatever is messing up the invoke, cancel invoke. There's nothing that should be setting it. Okay, so balloon spawning on start. Balloon of choice dot set active equal to true. Save that. I hope this works. It should set them to true now. I don't know why it's not true, just right away. But if we wait a little bit. Hello? Spawner. What happening? Oh. What's popping? Brand new whip just topped in. Okay, they should start spawning now. And they should be active. Stop spawning. Start spawning. Spawn, you dumb balloons. Okay. So apparently that just messed everything up for no good reason. Instead, in update, we're going to do that. Balloon of choice dot set active equal to true. Save. Let's try this again. I'm just hoping that this works. Hello? Come on, man. Spawn. Spawnathy. You know what? You know what I bet it is? I bet it's because I'm an idiot and I made it a trigger. It is. That's exactly what it is. This is a trigger. Maybe it'll still work. Yes, it's working. It's working. It's working. It is working, guys. It's working. This is amazing progress. Definitely the farthest I've ever gotten on this game, and I've tried to make it many a time. So what I think I'm going to do is actually end the stream. We haven't been streaming